and sit down.
Hey, welcome back to Some Assembly Required. This is episode 6, our weekly podcast with BrickScene and Bricking It.
Woo!
We didn't even know what episode we're up to there when we were talking
Nope,
about
we just have so much fun doing these podcasts that we don't even know. It's the start of our weekend. We just like doing these podcasts.
We're getting so old that we've just lost track.
Yeah, we can't count above 5.
Do we need to? I don't know if we need to these days.
You don't need maths when you're older. You don't need maths.
How you been?
Yeah, all right, mate. Yeah, not bad. We were on about this just before the podcast, actually. There hasn't been that much out of Lego this week, like news-wise and stuff. So this week's been a bit slow for news, but I think it's a bit slow for everything, actually. Just in general, I've had a bit of a slow week, I think. So.
Have you felt slow? Have you? You were a bit sick last week, though. To be fair.
Yeah, I think I'm still a bit sick this week. Yeah, I think
really?
it's just the weather over here. The hay fever season is terrible for just makes you really drowsy because I'm ended up having 2 or 3 hay fever tablets a day where you're only supposed to have 1. So it kind of knocks you out a little bit. But it's all good. It doesn't matter. But yeah, we were on about just before this that you do your thing about, what is it, retro, talking how we got things wrong last week. Yes. So I just wanted to mention something that Craigster said to me about the Bricklink sets that we can't get at the moment. Obviously, the ones that went up to only 5,000. He said that literally that there's a reason for that. They could only make a certain amount due to the amount of sets they're making at the moment. However, he also then did say that Bricklink were looking at all the negative feedback they were getting around the fact that the sets have now massively fluctuated in price, and they are going to look at it, and hopefully we might get a few more. So if you guys are still interested in certain sets and you're thinking of pulling the trigger on some ridiculous aftermarket ones, wait a little bit first.
Yeah, wait a bit. I saw on the guy who did the Kakapo, he's a Kiwi fellow, he put up a link today in one of the Facebook groups, actually. I think the second batch, I don't know if it's gone live or not yet. I think the castle's already done 10,000. That was the problem.
Wow.
They've made a mistake with the castle, so it did 10,000. So that one's not available for the second run, but the other ones are. And they are due, because the first batch are not due to be delivered until, Jan next year, I think it was. So this next batch are not due to be delivered until July next year or June, if I'm not mistaken. That's the info that I heard anyway.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I can wait that long for a Lego set. I feel like we were about this the day with hype. Once the hype dies down, a lot of the time you then go, do I really need this set? And I think that's what it would be like with these Bricklink sets. I think I would buy them and then go, oh, the hype's kind of, I want it now. Whereas, and I understand that it's going to take them longer because it's not a typical set.
Is that? I'm just thinking about that though. That hype thing, is that us that are, the way that we shop these days, or is that a result of too much product coming out?
I think it's too much product mixed with social media. Because if you look at anything, it's like if you are looking at something obsessively on the internet, which I do all the time, your brain starts triggering in that FOMO that I need to have this and I need it. And with Lego at the moment, like I said, they're pumping out 2 big good sets a month. And I think, to me, I did this on the poll, which we'll get to in a second, but to me, I think they're doing good sets. I don't think they're doing excellent sets. So,
no.
For instance, the Friends apartment.
Quantity over quality.
Yeah, I think the Friends apartment's a good set, don't get me wrong. I think it's a good set. However, I think it could be better. I think the fig selection could be better. And I just feel like it's a good set, but it's not a great set. So you get that FOMO of, I need it. And then 2 weeks later, there's another set, like a shoe or something that comes out. And then all of a sudden you're like, maybe I don't need it.
Yeah, maybe I don't need that last one because I need to spend the money on this one coming up, I don't know. Thinking about going back to that Friends set though, like as it was that very first one that came out, the Central Perk one. I was happy with that as a set.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I actually think
was price point and the minifigs that came with it. I didn't expect any more and I didn't expect any less, and I think it was quite good. But I don't know, is it because of the comparison?
I think the Friends Central Perk set is a great set, and that's the difference. So exactly what you're saying. So I think for the Friends Central Perk set, with Lego looking into maybe establishing other audiences elsewhere, people that aren't necessarily into Lego, something like Friends, which hit the hype of Netflix being rerun, I think did that. And I think something like Central Perk is a 55 quid. You're shopping around with your mates or something, or your family. You pop in, maybe you pop into Lego store, maybe you're in John Lewis or something in England, and you see that set and you go, "Oh, I like Friends," and it's a one-off set. And I think it was a good price point, like you said. It's got a good selection of figures because you get all the main characters. But with the apartments one, it's double the price, double the room for it to fit on. So, and it's just a bit like, I just don't see a lot of people that are into movies and TV shows wanting that set. Personally, I might be proven wrong.
Yeah, well, no, but that's something, horses for courses, as they say.
Yeah.
That there is a market for it. Of course there is, and there is going to be people that like it and all that. But I don't know. I just find it quite a strange sort of set. Like it doesn't sort of really come across as like a display set. It's more like a play set.
No,
and are
exactly.
you going to play out Friends? I mean, you're going to have 30 or people in their 30s playing out Friends scenes.
Another thing with that
sets, I can't see it happening.
Yeah, another thing with that set that I find so peculiar with it when I was looking into it a bit more as well was the fact that, these sets to me, if you think of like if you were into film or something, not into Lego, where would you display them? And to me, I would imagine like something like one of those glass IKEA shelving units or something where you may have all the different TV shows that Lego have done next to it because you're into your Lego box sets. So then you look at, well, which ones are they brought out, which ones are they bringing out? So you've got the likes of The Big Bang Theory, Central Perk, and then you're getting the new Seinfeld one as well, and potentially that little Thor one as well that's coming out. If you add that, the one where he's sitting eating pizza.
Yeah, but that's not the sitcom sort of thing. So to me, that doesn't sort of fit with it. But you're right; those three sets, and they're sort of different shapes, but
the similar size, the similar sizing there. Whereas that apartment was like twice the size. So are you going to then have to cut it up to put it on top of each other, or it becomes a bit weird?
Work, does it?
No.
The whole scene, isn't having it right across the corridor and stuff like that as well. So I don't know, and I may have gotten that or wanted to, get that Seinfeld set had the Friends apartments not come out, because that's completely taken the gloss off these being one-off. We've talked about this before. One-off sort of showcase things on, or set based on this theme. That buying a Seinfeld thing, I mean, I can't see which other scene they would do from Seinfeld. I mean, the apartment is the
main thing, and also they've done the little brick wall as well, haven't they? They've done the brick wall, which is quite cool. The little the stand up
add-on thing. But I mean, there's not really much more to that particular scene you could do other than the wall. So I don't know. That's kind of put me off getting that one.
I think it has lost a little bit of the magic from the Central Perk set because there's now another big set with all different characters with different uniforms and stuff. It's like if people say to you in the past, like, "Oh, do you have the Sonic minifigure?" Yes. Now, if someone says, "Do you have the Ross figure?" you go, "Which one?" Because you've got now multiple. It's no longer that. I
don't know. But then again, it's not like people were missing out on Central Perk. That's still available.
Very true.
So it's not like they had to bring something out to sort of satisfy the fans or anything like that. So I don't know. It's a bit of an odd one. Seinfeld, though. I mean, you have no interest in it.
I've never really watched the show to really care, to be honest. I
watched the show, but I don't really have any interest in the set. I can see the appeal, especially if you've got the other ones.
I think if you're into Seinfeld or you're into, those kind of old 90s sitcom things, I think awesome. To me, it's just not something that I particularly want. I noticed a few people have said about there's quite a lot of stickers in it as well for all the references, because obviously it makes sense because you're going to have references that are one-off stickers that they're never going to make again. So why would they make it, prints? Then it's not going to do it, are they, for a set like that? So.
But then again, that's something that those particular. Well, I suppose it's the same with any sort of set like that. Like those stickers, they're eventually going to, fade away or perish, if you like, or peel away or something like that. That one day they're not going to look as good. And is that sticker sheet going to be easy to get going forward? No.
I do think that I don't know whether Lego particularly care about that, to be honest, because people that buy this set might be, again, people that aren't avid Lego fans. Might be a big chunk of the market for this one. are they even going to have it in 5 years? They may just part it out and put it in a bin somewhere or sell it at a car boot sale or something. So, but yeah, I mean, I hate stickers. I have to be honest. I hate them. I hate them for Star Wars sets. I just hate them. You can never get them aligned properly. And
they're a necessary
like
evil, though. They're a necessary evil, unfortunately. For
100% agree. Although interestingly, I did get the Mega Constructs He-Man stuff. We were on about that last week. I think we were. And they don't have any stickers. They are all prints, which is quite nice.
Everything's printed on that, is it?
Yeah, the quality of the print's obviously not as good as the quality of Lego printing, but that's actually another thing. Would you prefer, less quality printing, but it's all printed, or would you prefer just 1 or 2 pieces printed and stickers, but those quality pieces are better printed?
I guess the idea of the stickers, though, as well, is that yes, you can take them off, and you've got those pieces.
The bricks still.
If they're printed, then that's it. That piece has got that design on it, and that's it.
To counter argue that, though, you're not exactly going to take apart a UCS A-wing or something and go, oh no, that piece has got a sticker on it. I'm going to peel that sticker off so I can build a random mock or something. You're not going to do that.
Yeah, but then again, all your city sets, once all the stickers are perished, you just wash them all off, and then the parts go into the parts bin.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's very true. But that's also probably because most city sets, especially if you buy them second hand, the sticker applications have probably been done by a 6-year-old, so they're not exactly on straight anyway.
Do you have many actual city sets in your? Well, this is a bit of a segue to your nondescript city. Have you got many actual city sets in there that that are full of stickers? Because I've been building a few recently to build some facades.
So I think city sets. Yeah, so looking at city sets when it comes to like Lego cities, I do think this last year they've been pretty poor. They haven't really made many sets that you can help for mocks and stuff like that. But yeah, some of the older ones are great. They used to do like the town centre sets. I don't know if you've seen those. Like, I've got a couple of those with the stickers in where it comes with like a London bus or a monorail or something like that, and they look really cool. And yeah, I've used a lot of the stickers for them. I think almost those sticker sheets are as valuable as the set. Like to me, sometimes on Bricklink, you could buy those sticker sheets and help with your mocks and stuff making because there are some pretty good ones.
A bunch of stickers like. Sticker
yeah,
packs.
I've got a sticker sheet. Yeah, a sticker sheet.
Yeah.
The problem is the quality of the stickers the sticker quality wasn't that good on them. Is the sad thing. They weren't as good quality as the stuff you'd get in sets.
Is it just me? Or is there a difference in quality between the city set stickers and you say your UCS stickers? The reason I ask that is because I've got looking at quite a few of the boys' sets. A lot of those stickers are sort of peeling at the edges and look pretty bad. Don't get me wrong, a few of my Star Wars ones are looking like that as well. But I don't know. I feel that some of mine are just displayed, but they do tend to hold up quite a bit better.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think with City potentially it might be because they've been played with a bit more as well. But obviously, like you say, displayed ones might not get as damaged. I don't know whether I've noticed a quality difference, but I do know that City, or most of my systems that I bought in the past, tend to use the transparent stickers quite a bit, and they never do as well as the solid backed stickers. I hate those transparent stickers.
Put them on right the first time, and they sort of become this silvery sort of color rather than.
Or you can always see like your fingerprints through the back of them anyway when you've applied them.
It's the speck of dust that creates the big air bubble around it.
Yeah,
that does my head in.
I hate the transparent stickers. I would just wish
my worst experience with a transparent sticker, man, ever, was that was it Sweet Mayhem? Is that the name of the character from the Lego Movie 2 with had the little white sort of
the pod, the main character,
the little pod. So so the white and sort of blue and pink sort of pod. Yeah. Anyway, it's got one of those sort of so I'm banging my mic here. One of that sort of shape. I don't know, sort of diamond sort of shaped big sort of sticker pieces, and it's clear. And I tell you now, I went to put that sticker on and I dropped it on the floor. It fell off the edge of the thing, dropped on the floor. There was bloody
just fluff,
hairs, floor fluff attached to it and everything, man. I was just like, oh, damn it. And I persisted with it, and my God, it looked awful.
I mean, if it is a set that's still available in the stores, Lego will often replace it if you message them saying you've messaged.
Oh, yeah. I realise that, but I persisted.
You were like, I'm in.
I was
I've done it
away
to
at the time.
myself.
Actually, we took the set away to build as well. So I was away somewhere else. So yeah, the pressure was on.
I mean,
Anyway,
I get it with stickers like that, but I do feel like some of the things, like I think all plaques should be printed for a UCS set, because that is like, you're putting it on display, and I think that's for everything, whether it's the Saturn V or the International
What's
Space Station, all that.
your oldest UCS set?
The
Have you
Slave
got
one,
any of those? Okay, well, you haven't experienced the stickers on the plaques prior to that.
no.
So the UCS ATST has a sticker across. I think it's 8 1x6 tiles.
I mean,
Yeah,
I've
it's
got
that
some of
bad.
them from the original monorail that were over 2 bricks, and they've just
No, these
the
are over a
stickers are,
ton of 1x6s. I think it is. Yeah,
yeah, but the stickers don't last
yeah.
very well. I think if they're on multiple bricks either, I think that's why Lego have stopped doing that now, because they've
Mm.
it's the weak point obviously with the
But even
application.
then, I'm sure they had something they could have put it on. Or still across
Probably
a ton
cheaper
of
to
one
make
by
those bricks,
sixes.
wasn't it?
Yeah, I think they
But
did that with quite a few UCS sets at the time. I'm pretty sure one of the X-wings had it as well. Yeah.
yeah, I
So
definitely
yeah.
do think that they should be printed. I think that's something that it's something that makes the set a bit more valuable as well, because a lot of people can part out these older and buy the sticker sheet. It's not the end of the world, but I think
But those,
having those plaques printed would be a bit nicer, personally.
but I feel that a UCS set is a flagship set. Do you know
Mm,
what I mean? It
yeah,
is the flagship. Okay, maybe they're not making so many, actual units of it. Okay, I appreciate that, but that's where the heavy price tag is.
yeah.
I think that that's where the printed pieces.
I
I can understand the little city sets that people just buy dime a dozen for a birth, and then the pieces get used for something else because
yeah
that's where most Lego collections, I'm talking
end up.
piece collections, come from. But the UCS sets or these big sort of flagship models tend to stay together and don't get parted out.
Yeah, I
Whether
do know with
yeah.
the UCS actual sticker, which I'm saying that should be printed. I have heard that the one that came, I think it was called the Ulysses, that came as the gift with purchase, that had a printed one,
Yes.
and apparently it
Okay.
wasn't very legible. So
Oh,
that
really?
might be
Okay.
why they don't print it.
Okay. No, that would make sense. That would
So
make sense
I
then.
can
Yeah.
see for that sticker saying that is an argument, fair enough. But I do agree with you where I think everything on the set itself should be printed, because it's a high quality piece of art, basically. I mean, that's what
Mhm.
they are. They're basically competing with the likes of Hot Toys or Black Series. That's kind of what they're competing with, because they're big sets. You have them on display, so they should have that quality, which I think the
But
stickers
then
sometimes
again,
it just
is it
doesn't
is
quite.
it a cost thing? Is it a cost per piece thing? Like, because you'd think the UCS Star Destroyer is probably, you know, well, that's not got any printed pieces. What am I thinking? Maybe the Falcon, for example, we get a ton of stickers with the Falcon.
Yeah,
Should all those interior pieces be prints? Given that is an extremely expensive set, but given how many units they probably make compared to, say, your city town center or your
yeah.
police car or something like that, where it's easy to print off millions of that little piece that they need for that. But then again, most of those things have stickers, don't they?
I do feel like sometimes though, like I understand with stuff like that, but they could reuse some of those stickers in other sets. So, for instance, like you're about the Millennium Falcon, the chess table or whatever in the middle. I'm sure,
Mhm.
because I know that the Lego designers are so clever with stuff that they could use that print somewhere else. Whether that's like create it might be a table or something for a restaurant, or they could create it. Maybe it's a satellite dish or something, because it's just gonna be black and white. They're very clever with that kind of stuff, and I think if they had more printed pieces that became more standardized, they could get a lot more out of it. Because, like, for instance, they do it with like the X-wing or a Tie Fighter. They always put the same little console brick one by
Mm.
two cheese in there. Why don't they just have a few more variants of that? Maybe they've got one that's
Yeah,
always Star Wars, and they could just
there
stick it
was
into every
some
Star Wars
really
set.
cool. There was some really cool ones.
Mm.
Some of those older sets had some, the ones that had. I can't think of the exact sort of image now, but they had pictures of other Star Wars vehicles on the
Yeah, like an
display.
X-wing or something, or yeah, they
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So there were sort of, rather than like your generic sort of control panel
yeah.
with the screen type thing. Yeah, no, I agree. I
But
agree.
like you're saying, it might be a cost thing, and Lego has done really well with it. I think as the pricing has gone up of stuff, they're not gone too expensive compared to
I
the
think I
likes
think
of
it's
other toys.
still, yeah. I think,
Yeah.
I mean, you see those comparisons all the time. Is it
So
still value for money? You know.
last week we were on about the Mega Constructs thing, where we were on about the value. Interestingly, as I was putting this video into the cloud, Jang had actually done a video on it. I don't know if you saw that, but Jang did a
No, I haven't
comparison
seen it yet. No,
between
no.
Game of Thrones dragon and an Ninjago dragon, Mega Constructs
Okay,
and Lego.
okay.
And he actually said that, price per piece and playability and all this kind of stuff, they're actually comparable. So he was saying that Lego isn't actually overly expensive, which I think is kind of cool. I think it's kind of it shows that they are probably they're the biggest company when it comes to brick, what you call it, construction play sets, definitely. And I do feel that the value isn't too bad. I think sometimes it can be, but I think they do okay. I think they do okay.
Now, someone mentioned, actually, just talking on that, because that was something else we talked about last week, was about the licensing and whether Star Wars, if they, let's say, the Star Wars license got, Lego lost it and Mega Constructs picked it up. Someone pointed out, and rightfully so, that the majority of people buying these sets are kids and don't give a toss about whether they have the Lego logo on them.
But I would argue that I don't think that. So this is something that we were on about this just actually when we were on about the UCS. I think mass majority of sets might be bought by kids. I think if you look at the amount of money spent, it will be adults, because like you were saying with the UCS sets, a kid would have to buy quite a few Lego Star Wars sets a year, or their parents would buy them a few Star Wars sets a year to equate to something like an 8080 or a Millennium Falcon, which I think more adults would tend to buy. So I think it'd be more interesting. I think it'd be closer than you think in terms of adults.
I'm just thinking my little boy's budget compared to mine. It's got to be at least 10,000 to 1.
I know we're a bit of an extreme. I know we're a bit of an extreme, but I do think that's closer, because a lot of these toy companies are starting to realize this as well, and I think Lego need to see this, because like I said, I've been getting into more the toys stuff, like action figures. Most of these action figures now, they're not sold in the UK at all. You have to just buy them online because they're for an adult audience. They're not for kids. And so kids won't buy them. So because they're not meant to be played with, they're meant to be, you can display them and you can move them and then that's it. And I think that's becoming it's just becoming a more popular way of selling stuff. So I do feel that I think more Lego have done better during COVID because more adults have got back into Lego. Personally, I think that's
I mean, more of them stuck at home with more time on their hands. I think it was just a bit of a.
But but I do think whoever said, I guess that was one of the comments from last week. I completely agree with them though. Like kids, they don't really care if it's Lego. I don't think necessarily. If it's Star Wars, they'll buy it. So it might do well. It might do well as another company. But I have to agree that I do feel that the quality is slightly better on Lego. I don't think it's much better. And I think if I was a kid, I probably wouldn't notice the difference. Personally, I don't think I would notice the difference. But when you're into Lego, you feel dirty.
It's not. I walk past and I look at the box art. It's like it's dark. It's not as bright. It's just and I just I go no. It's easy for me to walk past. But I'll tell you now. Karen, I'll tell you in a second.
I was just going to say, why don't you, if you get a chance, buy yourself like a 15 quid set, whether it's Pokemon or Megacon, maybe one that just takes your fancy. Maybe not. Maybe it's not He-Man.
Maybe we should, because I'm spitballing and brainstorming out loud here, but we don't know where this whole thing is going to go, this whole channel. But maybe because we were going to do this in seasons, weren't we? We're sort of. We've six episodes into the first season of how many we don't even know. But maybe in future things we can bring things like that into it. Because we've got Lego channels, but maybe we can bring some things into it that we look at. We can look at the quality of some products on this channel.
Put it this way: when I was looking at the Kobe stuff, because I've seen the Kobe, people say and I have actually got some Kobe bricks by having a bulk lot, and they've come in. I've gone, the quality of the Kobe bricks are as good as Lego. I'm going to say that right now. They really are that good quality. I found it really hard to tell the difference when parting out, putting things into my Alex drawers. But hopefully I've got them all out. However, their minifigures are dire. They look
they can They can be tossed on the
Now,
fire. I couldn't care about
yeah.
the minifigs. It's
Now with
models.
the Mega Constructs, when I was looking at the box, I was like you were saying, and I've seen the toys like when they show the adverts, I was thinking, oh, they're awful as well. But actually, now I've actually got one out and played with them
Actually,
and
yeah.
posed them. Yeah, actually, they're actually really cool. And I hadn't realized when Jang was saying that he actually collects Mega Constructs figures over Lego minifigures because they
Oh,
are so
really?
unique. They have actual custom molds that they put over them. They've got like actual braces on for the He-Man, and he's got proper face. They are quite cool.
For a license, I can understand, but for the generic stuff, no way.
Well, I don't think Mega Constructs do generic though. I don't think they do generic.
Oh, they only do license, do they?
I don't think so. I haven't seen anything anyway.
Shows how much I've looked into it.
Well,
but look, I think I want to be able to look at other things, and well, this is what I was going to say. This week, I went to Toyco. I had to pick up a couple of birthday presents, and it was a case of a couple of the cheapest things I could find on sale. A couple of birthday presents for the kids' mates, and then I walked out with the Benatar as well. So.
How have you spent so much? Well, it's for the kids' toys. But this is only £2.
Didn't want to waste a trip, I got one of that like Spider-Man mech, that was like 30% off and some Ninjago spin top thing. Anyway, Benatar looks good. But I also went and had a look down the aisle with all the figures, the Black Series and those other ones that you're collecting now, and I'm just like
vintage collection.
I could easily start a collection off of about 50 individual different of the vintage collection alone.
I don't know if you can see here. I don't know if you can probably see it right here in the corner of my screen. This is a Jabba's Palace vintage collection.
Oh, really? When did you get that?
Cool. The other week. I bought it ages ago, but it only just arrived. But it's really cool. And then you start. It's like, oh, you got scenes, and you can. It gets
interesting.
Yeah.
But figures I can understand because they're like, like I know you can collect them, you can
carded
them, but you kind of have to pull that out of the box.
Yes.
The Jabba's, you have to pull it out of the box, and I bet it took all of about 3 minutes to put it together.
Yeah,
and that's it. I just look. I understand, you, mate. I'm a collector. I understand the appeal, and I also understand that I don't understand how other people operate sometimes. And I think I've got this going on at the minute. But to me, it was like this other thing that you showed me the other day. Like, it was impressive. It was the sail barge. How big was that sail barge?
The desert skiff. Yeah, it's
the skiff.
It's about it's comparable to the actual sail barge Lego set, but it's the skiff.
Okay.
Obviously, it's a bit.
And how much was that?
That was £50.
No, not that one. That massive one that you sent me. The one that was being
crowdfunded. The Katana, the actual sail barge. That's 500.
Yes,
that was £500. You can't even buy it anymore. It goes for like $8,000 on eBay.
And it's the same thing for me. Like, it looks amazing. It looks really cool, but like, you literally have to open the box to see the product. You know, like, whereas with the figures, I can really understand. I can get behind collecting figures because I don't have to just chuck them in a bucket like my minifigs because I've already taken them out. Well, they stay in their thing and I can have them on display,
That's quite interesting because I have been collecting the cards for the vintage collection, but I have slowly been opening them and liking getting them out. Yeah. Because I've been getting into my Dragon Ball Z ones, which they're in packs like, I've got one right here like this. So you have to take them out because there's so many different faces and hands and I think the difference is with those, like you were saying, with what you can do. You pose them. There's photography you can do with them if you wanted to, or you can it's kind of like an adult play. So you can like get your figure out. If you want to mess with it, you can take the hands and legs off and have different hands and different poses and put them back on. There's that kind of stuff you can do with it. But I'm going to counter.
It does sound a bit like playing with dolls, though, doesn't it? When you think about it,
it's the same with Lego, though, isn't it? When you say if you try to explain Lego to people, like, well, you kind of build it, and it's the same kind of thing. But I want to counter argue actually something, because I know something that you're looking at buying, and it's just basically destroyed your argument.
Okay, what's that?
You were saying that you wanted to buy the helmets.
Yes. How has that destroyed my argument?
So the Hasbro Black Series helmets, You have to take it out of the
Yeah,
box.
yeah.
And then you have 2 minutes where you'll stick it on your head. then go, that's cool. And then you'll put it on the shelf.
Well, this is where taste comes into it, I
I
guess.
know.
I
And
think
I
I'd
know
rather
because
have a bunch of helmets on display behind me than Jabba's palace. Like I'm
but,
not dissing Jabba's palace. That's
but,
cool, man.
but what I'm
Serious.
saying is that I know this because I have the Vader one. I bought it thinking, oh, that's cool. I got it, and it's got actions and stuff. But literally, you put it on you once, and then you go, "Oh, that's a faff to put on and off." You put it on the shelf, and it stays there.
I tell you what is worth collecting. One thing that I would like to collect. I've only got one of them, so I can't really call it a collection.
A collect.
It's something one of is the Black Series lightsabers. So I've got Vader's lightsaber from about 15 years ago, and that gets pulled out and played with all the time.
Yeah, you're just swinging it around, then, aren't you? Like we say, it's still.
No, I have a 7-year-old kid that I have lightsaber battles with, and a
Oh, so
5-year-old
you're
Padawan that's
using
learning quickly.
you're using your kids now as a
You obviously haven't followed my Instagram because I put a reel up or something not so long ago with my kid doing she wanted to do the scene from Rogue One, the hallway scene with Vader.
Oh, with Vader like
lightsaber.
destroying
everything.
Everything.
It was really dark. Yeah, so. Yeah.
Well, I've got another. I've
anyway.
got a Tantafora playset from Vintage Collection that I'm going to set that scene up. But I do feel it is closer than you think towards Lego. I know what you're saying. Lego's a building product.
Maybe we should do a show and tell thing going forward. Maybe that's something that we can bring into it because you seem to be picking up. I'm talking not Lego because we've got our channels for our Lego. I'm talking about other things to collect, and then we can just see what sort of dark holes we end up going down.
I mean,
I feel this could be dangerous, actually.
Well, it's like your favorite sets behind you, like the Slave One and the TIE Fighter UCS sets. You built those like 10 years ago or whatever when they came out, and they've literally just sat on the shelf. But you still love them. You wouldn't part with them.
Yeah, I've rebuilt them a couple of times, though. Especially Slave One. I've rebuilt that. Yeah.
I haven't rebuilt mine.
I don't have the space. If I want to put something else on display, I have to take something down. So they do get recycled. They do get moved around and put into bags. And
because I definitely don't do that. Once it's built, it's built. If it breaks, I don't want to build it again.
Do you know what I have been working on this week though? Yeah.
What?
The box of shame. I've been working on it.
Shame.
Yeah, I've been working on it, man. I've been trying to sort these minifigs out, man. I'm going to try.
The problem with minifigures though is what?
Them.
Yeah, they take up so much room. That's the problem. When you want to display them and give them breathing room, they take up a lot of room. That's the only issue with them. But
you haven't got them all yet. But you're talking about having too much.
Yeah, I know. It is something that as I've been reorganizing the room. It's like, do I want to actually get every single one? It's something that I've wanted to do for so long. Now I'm getting close to that because I have around 800 of the collection. And you look at it and you go, that's a lot of minifigures. I mean, I'm finding it difficult now. And that's only 2/3 of it. There's 1,200 minifigures. So,
and then there's
the new ones coming out.
Yeah, I was going to say the ones that you need are going to be the ones that are hardest to get, I can only assume.
No.
No?
The ones that I need are actually not that expensive now to finish it. Mm-hmm. It's more the fact that, do I need another 17 Luke Skywalkers?
It's
like, oh, here's Farmboy Luke.
I was going to say, have you got Farmboy Luke and Farmboy Luke with this poncho? Because underneath that poncho, it's exactly the same figure, isn't it?
Well, that's what a lot of them are like. So I've got my friend when he came around and was looking at my minifigures. He's into Star Wars, but he's not into Lego. And he's like, oh wow, looking at all these. And he thought he caught me out on one of them. He goes, you said these are all unique, and I was like, they are. And he goes, well, these two Vaders look the same. And I went, no, if you pop the helmet off, one has pupils and one has black dots as eyes. And he's like, but when they're on the shelf, they look the same. but they are different. So I have to collect them. So that's how stupid it can get.
And you're trying to rationale, put some sort of rationale behind it. Say, well, it's different, so I have to collect it. I have to collect it.
And I think this is the cool thing about this wave that we're getting, that's coming out of Star Wars now, because they are actually quite different figures, which is really cool. That we're getting actually new figures. Like the Bad Batch, I can't wait for. They look amazing. And even the Mandalorian Starfighter, that looks cool. Boba Fett looks great in the Slave One. So we are getting some really good figures, because they could have just thrown in a Boba Fett from before, to be honest, and I think people would have been happy.
That's the other set that we've seen some pictures of this week. I don't know if you've seen it, the Forge.
Oh yes, the Mandalorian Forge. Yeah, it doesn't really look like. I mean, we haven't seen high res images of it. I don't think it really looks like the Forge from the Mandalorian, but other than that, the 3 figures are great, and it looks quite a big set for 30 quid. So it looks quite a big set for it. I think what I will do is actually probably get the Forge itself, maybe display that, but I won't think I'll display the whole set. It's a bit open and it doesn't look very displayable.
I've decided I just don't need it.
Don't need it.
Just goes. Yeah, I just don't need it. It's that size. Do you know what I mean? It's that.
Yeah.
It's what I said. If I'm going to put this plan into action where I don't get small scene sets, then that is the category that fits in that category absolutely. So I've got to be strong. I've got to be strong.
Are you buying the Darth Maul and Ahsoka one though?
No,
because that's similar, isn't it? As well, it's like a little.
Well, exactly. So look, I'll go for Master Builder, unless a really special scene comes out. I mean, if another Jabba's Palace comes out or something like
Jabba's Palace, if they do it again, will be a Master Builder. I'll guarantee you that.
Well, yeah, exactly. But even if there was another playset, that's the kind of thing I'd probably go. You know what? I want
Jabba.
Like that. Yeah,
I want there to do another Jabba's Palace, because I want to take mine down. Like that to me is the reigning champ of normal Star Wars sets. Because people always ask me, like, what's my favorite set? Jabba's Palace with the Rancor pit underneath is my favorite set that was a normal child's toy that you play with. It's fantastic.
I remember seeing that Jabba's Palace in the stores and just passing it by, going, I will get it, but just not yet. It was 169 New Zealand dollars, which is what 85 quid. I don't know what you guys paid for it over there.
Well, it was about 90 quid, and I got it for about 60 on Smith's Toys when they were getting rid of it. And I got the.
I need to find it. I need to get it.
I got the Rancor pit for 40 as well, I think, or 30.
I've got the Rancor. That's the other reason I need it, is I've got the Rancor pit.
And that's an awful looking set without Jabba's Palace on top of it. It's just a cage.
I got given it, so I was quite happy.
Yeah, it's still got. That's one of those sets that has some great figures. You get the Rancor in it, the Rancor trainer, and Luke with his bone. It's quite funny as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Trying to fight him off. Yeah. It's a great set. But yeah, I want something to dethrone that set. I want something to dethrone that as my favorites, because I'd love to use that somewhere else or something. But at the moment, it's the best representation we've had of Jabba. Return of the Jedi style sets. So, and I still need to build my Ewok village, which is another great.
But it's funny you were talking about it before, talking about not getting that cruiser, the light cruiser, because of the size of it and all that sort of stuff. But I don't know.
It's size crossed with nostalgia for me though. So the light cruiser is cool, but it's only cool for like hardcore Star Wars fans that know where it's from in The Mandalorian. Even people that watch Mandalorian, I reckon if I took that down to Steph, built it, and went, "What's this from?" She'll go, "It's Star Wars, in it." She won't know it's from The Mandalorian. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't have that.
It's a triangle, a grey triangle. It has to be Star Wars.
Exactly. It looks like a giant Dorito.
They're in Rebels. I'm actually watching Rebels at the moment, and they're in Rebels quite a bit, aren't they? So,
but again, it's not the original trilogy. I think to me, it's the original trilogy stuff that I love. I'm an old man. That's what I like. That's what I like to display. It's the same with the vintage collection. Like straight away, they've got some really cool Clone Wars figures and stuff at the moment. And I'm like, yeah, but where's Jabba? I want a Gamorrean guard, please. Like, I'm more into like the older stuff.
Although, in saying that, because I've got something out here I'm about to build in the next couple of days. There's another figure that I do like.
Yes, well, that's one of the most expensive figures on the aftermarket at the moment.
Is he? Oh, yeah. Did you know that this set? Sorry to divert here. This set came with two heads. Oh. You get 2 Thrawn heads. That's in that Phantom 2. Did you know
I've got the set. I didn't have 2 heads for it though.
Did you? Everyone I know got 2 heads with that set.
Well, I got it second hand, so that head probably got lost along the way. So this is Admiral Thrawn that we're on about. If people are just listening to us, by the way.
Yeah, sorry, I should have mentioned that. But yeah, I got a second head. I'm wondering if that'll fund the retirement. given how much he goes for at the moment. Yeah,
Well,
maybe
it
the
doesn't
head
go for
alone's
quite
worth.
that much, but I think Admiral Thrawn, because he was referenced in Mandalorian, and they reckon that he's probably going to be in Ahsoka, and obviously he was in Rebels. That he's getting a little bit of a boost in pricing at the moment. So he's a good one. I think him and Captain Rex are kind of keep going up. I think eventually they're going to have to make them again. I don't see.
Yeah, but even then, they're going to get to the point where they're not going to bring out exactly the same figure. So the longer they leave it, the old ones are still going to hold their value because
I
they're
don't know.
the
I don't know.
OGs, you know?
I don't
You
know.
don't think so?
I used to think like that, but like for instance, the Cloud City set, the original one, like I said, the champagne set that I've got, the Luke Bespin, he plummeted in price as soon as the new Bespin Luke came out in the Cloud City set. He bombed. So certain
Oh,
figures
really?
do, yeah. Same with Ahsoka. They're not like stupid cheap now, but he was about 500 quid. He dropped to like 150 quid. So
Oh, really? That's
yeah,
significant, though. That is
yeah. Same with
significant.
Ahsoka
Oh.
from the Rebels one. The Rebels Ahsoka, the adult one. She
Mm-hmm.
was really expensive, like 200 quid. She's now down to like 100, I think, at the moment because the new Ahsoka came out. However, she is rising again because she's more of an adult Ahsoka, so she fits better with
Mm-hmm.
Mandalorian stuff, whereas the other
Mm-hmm.
one's more of like a child Ahsoka. But
Mm-hmm.
it does affect the older figures definitely. So
Interesting. Mm.
which is why I was holding off on Captain Rex because I do want him, but it's like if I can wait, I might get a new one, and then hopefully the older one will plummet in price a bit, and I might be able to grab him at a better price. But but yeah, but yeah, it's crazy aftermarket stuff. But again, I'm glad that Lego are definitely looking into the Bricklink stuff to hopefully get a few more orders for people if they want those sets.
My opinion on those sets though is like there's not going to be any exclusive molds, right?
Mm.
There's
Oh
not going
no,
to be
no
any
sticker sheets.
there's no stickers and no prints, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So
It's just gonna be the box, which I throw away anyway. So,
I was going to say it's the box and the instructions.
but you
And
could
the
probably download the
instructions,
instructions.
I was going to say, you're able to get the instructions and you're able to
Yeah,
get the parts off Bricklink. So all these people, because I did a short video on this. I don't know if I did it before last week or not, but on the price, I think I did do it
yeah, you
before
did it.
last week.
Yeah, because
This is what we're talking about. Yeah, but the prices were like 4 times, 5 times the on eBay. 5 times the
yeah,
price. I mean, anyone who actually paid, um, yeah, blows my mind. Blows my mind
it is very strange, but
because you are
it's
paying for the box,
it,
aren't
it,
you?
it is FOMO though, isn't it? That is the thing. People just get
Mm-hmm.
they get fixated, um, and I know because I'm one of them usually. So it's just the way it goes. But
What
actually,
we were
interestingly,
talking
we
about sorry, I was going to say what we were
no,
talking about at the beginning. So when is too much though?
well
Like it's
exactly.
just like
Well, I think it's
the
too much when
FOMO.
you're starting to buy more shelves and you've got more shelves than actual floor space. That's when I think you realise that yeah, that's
I've
what I'm
definitely
doing at
got
the
more
moment.
shelves. I've got more shelves than floor space in here. If one of these fell over, it hit me in the back of the head. That's how close the back of it.
So don't forget to watch Rich's live streams just in case. You
Yeah,
never
just
know.
in case
But
if you're into that sort of thing.
yeah, there was one thing I mentioned briefly earlier at the start of the podcast, which was about the form that Lego and I think it was Claire from Plastic Architect had shared Tia Katerina's one, but Lego are actually they've sent out a form that you can do anonymously for AFOLs of what you do, in how you collect Lego to try and help better. So I was thinking to you, do you think that they will actually use that data? Do you think that it'll just help them maybe for their annual report, or do you think they're genuinely looking a little bit concerned or wanting to tailor their sets more to AFOLs? I just thought it was a very
Look,
interesting.
it is quite interesting. I, the benefit of the doubt, of course, suggests that they will do something with it, but I get the feeling that this year in particular, or maybe probably is going to happen for a couple of years, as that they're doing this spray sort of get as
Shotgun
many
approach.
adults that, yeah, just as many
Yeah,
adult sets out there as possible. They've tapped into something with obviously people being at home, like what we were saying, being home with COVID, being off work, needing things to do to pass time. Of course, Lego, there's been an upsurge in it.
yeah,
That's common knowledge. So now they've got all these adults. So they think they've gained all these new fans, if you like, or all these new collectors. But as they're starting to go back to work, are they still going to sell as many Lego sets? We've noticed with the community as well that a few people have stopped making videos. People are a little bit no, but people are generally quieter.
Yeah.
Myself as well. I've been busier with work. You've been busier with work. We're just a bit busier, and that was always going to happen. But how many of these people are going to stick around? So I think, I don't know, maybe Lego, it's sort of, maybe it's a bit late. I don't know. I'm speculating, but getting all these sets out there and seeing how many of them or which branches or which themes take off. The botanicals, for example, in my opinion, was a bit of a risk for them. I'm sure someone was going, I don't know. This one, we'll see if this one takes off. I'm sure, there's Star Wars, dime a dozen. People are going to buy them. Put out UCS sets. People are going to buy them. End of. There is a market there for it. But doing these organic, objects, if you like, I feel that it was probably a bit of a risk for them. But man, has it paid off? Those sets are so hard to get your hands on. Well, not now. I think they've been restocked now, but that first wave sold out, and they were gone. So things like that, I don't feel that there'll be as many adult sets next year. I get the feeling.
I think there will, because I think Lego's a bit slow to this kind of stuff, and I think they'll have
maybe if they're slow, then maybe the following year it'll slow down as a knock-on effect of people going back to work.
I do think that
market slowing down.
Yeah, I do think that there's too much product on the shelves, which I've said multiple times, and I'm sure we'll see the results in a couple of years and see if I was right or not. But I do feel like maybe it's a bit of saturation now that they've. I mean, I wonder if their marketing team have gone, oh, well, we've got all these sets, but now we have no data because we've done so much different stuff, and we haven't really seen who's buying and who's not, that we don't actually know how to appeal to these people and keep them there. And again, it might just be the fact that my mum's got that flower set, the bouquet. She loves them. My nan's got one from our wedding.
My mum wants it too. My mum wants it too.
But she isn't going to get any other Lego. Yeah. It's literally like, that's it. She just likes that. And she thought they were cooler than fake flowers and they don't die. So she was like, oh, that's cool. That was it. She's not getting... That's not going to suddenly get... I'm not going to go around and she's got 10 years of Ninjago anniversary sets. I don't think she's looking at... No. Oh, maybe I'll get Ninjago Gardens now to go next to it. Yeah, I don't think
chasing Ninjago City for the best price. No, no, but like, I mean, what other sets are like that? I suppose you've got the Everyone is Awesome set as well. That is again going to go outside. The flowers thing. Like
I personally don't think that set is as popular as people think. I really don't. Because I feel like there's a lot more Pride stuff available that's better than that, personally.
Okay.
But I think it's great for the Lego community.
The shoe as well, though. Do you know what I mean? I'm just talking about...
The shoe looks awful. I don't know whether...
For us, but, as this going to bring in...
I was saying, like, my friends who massively collect trainers, they were laughing at it. So I don't know how popular that will actually be, but at least they're trying. But I do feel like with that...
they're trying.
With that shoe, they were laughing at it. They said it looks nothing like a shoe. It doesn't fit their collection. So the only thing that I share... Because one guy that he literally buys about 20, 30 shoes a month. Like, he's massively into shoes. And he looked at it and was like, well, where does that fit in my collection? And then he was interested more when he saw the box. Because at least the box looks like a shoe box. He's like, oh, maybe. But he just wasn't that bothered about it.
No, I mean, as again, we've discussed this many times. As a former shoe collector myself, I am potentially their target market. Let's say, and I have zero interest in it. I like the gift with purchase though. I like the little one.
The gift with purchase, I think, is the best thing about it. I think the shoes
I think it's awesome. I think that's going to look great on the desk. I think it's
the actual wearable shoes they've made look really weird. As in, I think they're the worst versions of the shoes they've made because they made like 3 or 4 sets now. I think they're the worst ones so far. And I think the gift with purchase is really cool. I would get that gift with purchase. There's nothing out at the moment that I want to buy to get that gift with purchase. But if there was, that would be an incentive for me to go to the Lego store instead of going somewhere else to buy those Lego sets because it's a cool little set and you can get it with anything. So I think that's the best thing, personally. But
awesome.
But yeah, I think I know what you're saying with the tapping into these different adult sections, but is that something that's sustained? I don't know. I really don't know. I think it's interesting. I definitely think it's toy company hasn't been doing that other than Lego, really finding these niches and trying to capitalize on it.
Well, I suppose the other thing as well is that, with people going back to work and, of course, markets starting to open up again, and you assume job markets, people will have a bit more disposable income as well, then, maybe this is the time to be putting out all that sort of stuff, is that those
Yeah,
people
but
that
maybe people
have
will be
been,
putting
yeah,
maybe they'll be putting
yeah,
that
I don't
money into
know.
holidays though instead of
Yeah, that's true. Well, yeah, I'd like to go on holiday, so
an Ewok village. They might want to go to Center Parks instead.
Center Parks. Have a staycation. Is that what they
Yeah,
call it?
staycation.
Staycation.
But but yeah, like I said, I hope they do well with it. I do hope. Again, going back to the amount of availability, I do feel like when you look into other toy markets, companies like NECA and Hasbro and Mattel and stuff like that, they create a kind of FOMO on, even if you can see them on the shelf because they don't have them out very much. You've got to grab them now because you might not see it again. And
Mhm.
or you can online. Like I said, most of the stuff you have to online purchase only in the UK, whereas Lego don't have that issue. And I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. It's great for them, the fact that people can avidly go to the Lego store or whatever, pick it up off the shelf and buy it. But I think it does remove some of that brand. Um, I don't know, that some of that desirability, because it's like
But that's
Will Mac.
exactly what happens with shoes. That's exactly what you
Yeah,
look at every major shoe release. If it's a Jordan, like the
yeah,
next numbered Jordan, not just some random Jordan shoe, but like if it's a major one, or even a famous basketball sort of signature shoe, basketball
yeah,
player's signature shoe, you have to get a ticket. Go to this. It's like
yeah,
a raffle sort of thing, and even then, there could be 3 or 4 people in front of me with size 8.5, and then when I get there, there's no 8.5s left, so I've just got
yeah.
to pick a
You're done.
size.
Yeah,
No, you just pick a size, and then you
whatever
got
you
to do
want.
it. What can you do? It's like,
Yeah,
well,
yeah, and
so that whole exclusivity thing, and that whole um, buying things before they disappear off shelves or anything like that. I'm used to all that sort of stuff. I've got
yeah.
no problems with that side of collecting things. I've got no problems with exclusivity as such on things.
Yeah,
Um,
but this is going back though to like what you're saying. If that Seinfeld set, for instance, that we said we weren't interested in, if that wasn't, if it, they weren't, I mean, I think now we've got to the point where we're not that bothered. But if that was that they were only doing like a set like that, maybe once or twice, maybe once every couple of months, and that was the set they have to get in line for, wouldn't you feel more like you want to get it? I know I would. Whereas at the moment, because they're every 2 weeks and they're just on the shelves, I'm like, I don't care
that's
anymore.
exactly it. But that's exactly it, because you're almost, I don't know if it's a subconscious thing. You're sort of holding on to your money, waiting for
Mm,
the next thing. I mean, we have a bit of insight into, well, we have it's a bit of a guessing game, I suppose, as to the those UCS Star Wars sets coming out. So that's why I'm
yeah,
sort of holding back on. Mind you,
because
there's
you know
not
you want
really
them.
been,
There's two big sets
well,
potentially coming out, and
exactly, but also, I mean, the let's say the for example, the typewriter, the
yeah,
friends, there's been quite a few easy passes for me recently as well. In years gone by, though, I've wanted the idea sets, and I've
yeah,
wanted all the creator sets and all that sort of thing. So maybe it is a case of just being too much on the market, that I'm like going, well, the next thing's coming out in 2 weeks.
yeah,
Whether it's the Star Wars stuff I'm looking forward to or not, it might be the Home Alone house, which I've kind of got my eye on.
yeah. Well,
That sort of thing.
this is the problem that I think I had, because I was doing a lot of other stuff. I was venturing outside of Star Wars earlier this year, the city stuff. But it's got to the point now where it's like I can't collect everything, so you have to stick to a theme, because if you don't, you can just run wild, and before you know it, you've spent thousands and
That's
thousands of
something I've
pounds.
that's something I've done over the years, though. Is I've
Mm,
definitely thinned, because when I first got back into collecting, or when I came out of my dark age, I was just buying anything and
anything.
everything.
Yeah,
I was buying those big creator expert sets, like I said, the Tower Bridge and
yeah,
Big Ben, awesome builds. Like the great looking sets, to see on display and all that, but they're hard to display. Like
yeah.
Big Ben's so tall that it
Well,
leaves a
it
whole
is one of
bunch
the
of,
reasons I never got the original sail barge or Ewok Village, because Ewok Village is quite big. So it's like, where am I going to
mm,
display it? So I don't display it anywhere. And then
mm.
with the was in the sail barge, I was like, oh, I've already got a Jabba. Do I want to display two Jabba sets? not thinking that we'll never get one for another 10 years plus.
Of course, of course. But even then, these landscape sets, like these
Yeah,
you
the
know,
big.
like it's not like I was going to go out and buy the Sydney Opera House or go and try and find an old Eiffel Tower or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I had these sets. Just there was, it's easy to thin those out. I even had a whole bunch. I had nearly all of them actually, the Ninjago movie sets. I think I was one set shy of having them all, and I just sold them all off, all the mechs and everything. Some of them I wish I still had. Actually, that
Yeah,
shark mech
that
is kind of
is the
cool.
problem, isn't it? Once you've got it, though, you do
Oh,
feel like.
but then again, like I said, when I got rid of some stuff the other day, I got some cool stuff in return. I got some more modulars, which
Yeah.
because I'm going to be doing the city that I'm happy to have those.
Yeah.
So I've managed to thin it down to sort of a few themes that I'll avidly collect, and I'm happy to pick up the odd thing here and there every now and again from other themes. But that's why I'm so picky, I guess, on these sort of odd things that are coming out, like the Adidas shoe and this Seinfeld set and things like that. They're just easy passes for me, easy
Yeah.
passes,
I
and that
definitely
may
do
be
think
down to the
when it was the not as big a sets, like Barracuda Bay for me last year was an instant buy because there weren't that many big sets like that coming out. So I was like, oh, you know what? I'm not into pirates. I've got no nostalgia to it, but I'm going to buy it. And now it's almost like devalued that set to me personally in my mind because I'm like, why have I bought this? Because there's so much other stuff that keeps coming out
If a
now that I
Barracuda
don't
Bay came out tomorrow, I mean,
wouldn't be interested.
I'd probably be in the same thing. I'd probably be holding back my money, going, what else is on the horizon?
Well,
There's going to be
it's what happened
something.
to me with the Winnie the Pooh set. I was really interested in the Winnie the Pooh set. I like Winnie the Pooh. I think it's a cool. I'm into art and design and stuff, so it's got a cool story to it. By the time it came out, there was so much stuff that kept going on. Oh, there's going to be something else in 2 weeks. It wasn't the set I wanted, and luckily I managed to get it for free because we bought it for Steph's mum, and the box came damaged. I messaged Lego, and they were like, "Oh, keep that one. We'll send you a new one." So I actually got a free set. So I built it, and I've really enjoyed it, and it's downstairs on display. But realistically, it's one that potentially I would have passed up on because I wasn't that. There's just too much coming out. So, and you want to concentrate. You can't have, like you say, you've got how many shelves have you got there, and they are still not full. But
no, I haven't done anything more to them in the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I've been sorting out stuff on this side.
But it looks good like that. It looks good where they've got a little bit of breathing room. Like if you start adding like another 5 droids onto that shelf with R2D2 and R4D5, whatever he's called, it's gonna start looking a bit full, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like it looks better when it's easier to display.
I want to muck around all the lighting and stuff like that back there as well. I think you can make it look quite,
have them all individually lit and stuff.
Ooh, even just just when you get some mood lighting, it looks a bit nicer. So anyway,
you just wanted to press his stream deck.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can tell I got some new toys, eh?
But yeah. Anyway, I think we're coming up to the hour. Is there anything else you wanted to say more on this one? Anything coming up on your channel or?
No. I never commit to anything, man.
Very true. I mean, we're only on. We're recording this on Friday, 9th of July, so we've still got a little bit of wait for the new Star Wars stuff. So, are you looking at? Is there anything that's ticked your box for this month that you might be buying in the month of July, or?
No, and that's why I picked up the Benatar. That's I just it's actually sold out now in a lot of shops over here, but I just decided to pick that up. I thought that's going to be a pretty cool build, worth getting my hands on at the moment. It was, there's probably a couple of other things, but no, I almost feel sort of like there's a weight off my shoulders at the moment with the Lego because there's just, like you say, plenty out there that I would quite happily walk out of the shop with. Don't get me wrong, I could go and fill a trolley any day with stuff that I'd kind of like to build, but there's nothing I'm really hankering for at the moment,
No. Sadly, to me, the one set that is on the shelves at the moment that I would like, well, Benatar included, actually. I think that's a great set. It is that Daily Bugle. However, again, it's a massive set that I don't really know where I would display, and I don't really collect Marvel.
Can I just say something as well? Actually, the Daily Bugle is on my radar, but because it's not at my buddy's toy shop, I'm not going to go to the Lego store and I'd rather the money went to my buddy's place. So no, that's not there yet. The world map's not there yet neither. So those are things that I do actually want.
They're on the radar.
Going forwards. They are on the radar. The world map is actually definitely on my radar.
Bugle's fantastic set. It's just I don't know where I would put it. So I'm trying to be a bit more. I want to get all my shelving sorted and things, and then know where if I find somewhere I could put it, then I might get it. But I think I need to be more like that now. Than I've got so many Lego boxes. I'm looking at sets that I've got that are sealed, going, do I even want to build? Where am I going to put this? Like, why have I bought it? Because I've got nowhere to put it. So it might get to the point where they might go on eBay or something. Just to
I've still
got
a backlog. Don't get me wrong. There's still a backlog there. But
I've got the white Millennium Falcon from the Star Wars Solo movie, and I really like it, and I think it's a cool shit. I have zero places to put it, so I'm not going to build it, and it's going to get to the point where it's like, do I still want it? But it's got some fantastic minifigures in it, so it's like I want it for the figures. But yeah, it's a weird one. But anyways, thank you all so much for listening to us ramble for another hour. If you got any suggestions for next week's podcast, because we were trying to come up with some ideas for this week's one, stick it in the comments. We just enjoyed doing it.
If there's anything you want us to help you with, if there's anything you want our opinion on, think of us as your agony aunts. We'll be quite happy to help you out with anything.
Definitely. And we just do this really because we just love having a little natter, don't we, for an hour at the end of the week.
It's an hour I don't have to deal with my kids at this time on a Friday night after they've had a tiring week at school. So,
but anyways, with that, we'll see you in the next one, guys.
Take care.